Hey guys, how's it going? It's Monty or Black Dog on the forums, and I've had a couple people ask me how I edit my photos, and it's really hard to explain typing it all out, so I just thought I'd make a quick little video instead. Quick disclaimer, I do not claim to be a professional, so if somebody who does this for a living sees this video and is totally appalled at my techniques, I don't care. I'm more of the type of person that if it looks good, it is good, and that's pretty much how I've learned. I'm not claiming to understand how half this crap works. This is what I do from watching a few videos myself and talking with friends and, looking at how they edit their photos and getting tips from them and just kind of making my own thing. So basically, all I do is try and bring out the colors and make it a little sharper. That's pretty much it. Nothing special. I didn't shoot this photo. My girlfriend did, but she did a good job. Here is my data up here. It's ISO 320, 33mm f8, and one at 1,250th a second shutter speed. She's shooting an aperture priority, and I always bump the ISO up for her a little bit just so she doesn't get too slow of a shutter speed. And yeah, that's pretty much it. This is a RAW photo, by the way. I don't shoot JPEG. You can't do a lot of stuff in JPEG, so if you're shooting a cheaper camera that doesn't shoot in RAW, you might not get the same results. Just to clarify that for anybody who's wanting to know, I guess. This photo's pretty well shot. As I said, up here is the histogram. You can see there's lots of colors in the middle, which is good. You can also see on the edge that there's some highlights blown out, which obviously you can see the sun is pretty bright off the side of the truck and the wheels. To show you what that is, I always start in this basic panel, and I go to highlights, and I hold down the option key on my Mac, and then I click, and it's going to show me where it's blown out, which is very handy. I turn those down until they're almost gone. In this photo, I can't get them all the way out because they're just so blown out. And there you go. Then I go to the whites and I do the same thing. I hold option and I click, and then I turn them back up just a touch. I'm not going to get too carried away there because they're already pretty blown out, but in another photo I would probably push that a little more. That brings out more contrast in the high ends. Then on the blacks, I do the same key command. As you click and push option, this happens. I like to push the blacks a little more. They tend to make things look sharper to me. And then I do it with the shadows. And I've just noticed that if you go higher than 50, I usually take option off and just do it by eyesight, because if you get too high up here, you can see it just gets too fake looking to me, very HDR-y. So I want it to look pretty natural. So about there, something like that. Looks good to me. And then I move down to this presence area and I boost the clarity. Again, try not to overcook it, because if you go too high like that, it just looks like crap. So I try not to go above 50, but sometimes depends on the photo, you end up around there. So that looks fine to me. And then I do the same thing with vibrance. Again, don't want to overcook it. So something like that. I always leave this color section open. I like it because I know my camera very well, and the sensor in it does some odd things every once in a while. It really likes yellow. Occasionally the yellows would just be out of control. Sometimes the aquas and the blues as well. So I will tweak those, but that's pretty much all I ever do in terms of that with the colors, so I just leave that panel open. I don't do anything with split tone. In detail, I always sharpen the picture. I usually end up between 80 and 90. I never go above that. I've never found a need for that. I always do masking as well. I think this makes a difference. Basically what it does is it doesn't sharpen the entire picture, it only sharpens the edges. And I'm going to do the same keyboard shortcut I did before, which is hold option and click. And you can see that as I increase the mask, less becomes white and more becomes black, and basically the white edges are being sharpened and the blacks are not. So like the sky, I don't need to sharpen the sky. Like, who needs to sharpen the sky? Nobody. So takes that out, and I think it just kind of helps bring out a little definition. I don't know, whatever. And then I do some noise reduction. I pick this up from Mark. I just do about 10 to 12 depending. He says he thinks it makes a difference when he uploads it online, and I also think it makes a difference, so I always do that. Then I go to lens correction and I enable the profile correction. This helps with distortion. Sometimes I don't like what it does with the vignetting. I like on my wide angle lens, it blows out the exposure in the corners way too much, so I'll turn that down, but I never really mess with the distortion. And then I always remove the chromatic aberration, or however the heck you say it. I don't know, don't care. Again, and I always do about 4. There's nothing in this photo that really needed it, but I just tend to do it anyway. It's really helpful in a lot of the pictures I shoot in the grill area. You'll see that purple hue kind of pop out on the edges, especially because I don't have an awesome camera body or lens, so I get more of that. So I tend to do it a lot, just a little touch. And that's pretty much it. Just makes it a little sharper, brings the colors out. That's all I do. There's nothing really to it. This is what it was like before. This is after. So there you go. That's pretty much it. Hope it was helpful. Ask any questions you want, and if you want me to make more videos, I will. Thanks. Bye.